Yes, people, welcome back to another stream on the channel. This is your Game Week 20 review and your FA Cup preview. We're only going to do Premier League teams from the FA Cup one, but yeah, we're back. Obviously, Happy New Year, everyone. First stream of the new year, so it's good to be streaming back in the new year and good to see you guys. But let's start adding the panels that we have today. First of all, we've got our co-host Manny. Big up to you, Manny. How you doing?
Yeah, big up to you, Oris. Happy New Year to you and everyone associated with OTF, everyone in the chat, everyone, all of our other panelists who probably couldn't be here tonight because they're watching the darts or whatever. And it's been a decent New Year so far, and can't wait to take things even further.
100%, 100%. Good to see you. And we do have Ollie himself. How you doing, Ollie? Happy New Year to you as well.
I'm good. Yeah, Happy New Year, of course. Yeah, big up for having me on.
And ours, we are expected to have Mr. B later in the stream, so he will join soon. But I think his New Year resolution is to be more on time on streams. Let's get into it. So.
Yeah, but listen. To be fair, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, it's a process. Do not expect to get everything right immediately. You will have to make sure you understand the patterns that need to be used, and once you do, it'll become second nature. I promise you.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Boy, back up to you. Even Oris, Man, and Ollie, Happy New Year. Back up to you.
What's the crack? What's the bleeding story?
Back up to you, boy. But yeah. Let's go through it. So obviously, Game Week 20 reviews. First match was Luton-Chelsea. Chelsea did win 3-2, but for me, I think if there was more time, Luton would have done something. But yeah, I'm not sure because 3-1 down, I think that was too much for them. If there was 2-1 down, obviously 2-2 and stuff, but the 3-1 down did hurt them a bit. But you know what, Chelsea, I think first half, they look decent, man. Good goal from Cole Palmer. Obviously, Madueke. Yeah, listen. I think, obviously, Hanno did say when we did preview that he wasn't that confident, but I think Chelsea played well. Luton, I thought they were sleeping in the first half. Like, they didn't give enough in the first half. So, but yeah, I think it's a well-deserved win for Chelsea, in my opinion. But let's go over to Ollie. Ollie, what's your thoughts on the Chelsea win against Luton?
Yeah, good win for Chelsea. I predicted a Luton win in this one, so it was a bit of a surprise for me. I didn't expect Chelsea to win the game, but they did. And I usually do sometimes back Chelsea to win, so I should have, in this case, Cole Palmer had a good game. He got 2 goals. Good. He's in my FPL team, so that's good for me. Madueke getting a goal as well. But Luton did come back in the second half. They got two goals, but it wasn't enough. But yeah, I predicted a Luton win, so it was a bit of a shock for me. But yeah, good win for Chelsea and not that good for Luton.
Yeah. Manny, over to you. What's your thoughts on the Chelsea win?
Another day, another fighting defeat from Luton where they show admirable spirit and fight and courage. And sadly, the other team ends up taking all the points. I really do think that Luton will definitely give it a really good fight to try and stay up in the Premiership because of the spirit they've shown, and certainly given that prior to this game they won their previous game. I believe it was against Newcastle, if memory serves me right, as a tribute to Captain Tom Lockyer, who might possibly not end up not playing football ever again, pending the verdict from the doctors who he will be seeing. Because certainly a cardiac arrest on the field is no joke, and for some players it may very well be career-ending. For others, they somehow manage to play again, as has Christian Eriksen. But I'm sure you'll know and maybe feel, Oris, that in his case he might as well, after some performances, might as well be retired. But I think we also need to take a look at the positives for Chelsea here, because they actually dominated the game for the most part and went 3-0 up. And I think for them to concede 2 goals isn't really a good look for them. But they're a team which is still, continuing to evolve under Pochettino and trying to find their way forward. Whereas with us, we're supposedly a team challenging for the title, and we allowed them to completely peg us back to 3-3 and had to depend on a breathlessly late winner from Declan Rice to take us through. But I would have had no complaints if we didn't win or ended up losing that game. And good to know that he's seeing the specialist. And I do hope that whatever happens, he will make the best decision for himself and his family and his health and well-being. So Luton once again have shown that they are willing to scrap and they are willing to fight. And any team that dares to take them for granted will do so at their own peril. But they will possibly need to show a little bit more tightness at the back. And I think, Lockyer's absence might possibly affect them because he was one of probably the glue that held the midfield and the defense together, in my opinion. So how do you replace a guy like him? Let's assume that he won't play again for the rest of the season, which would be sad and a shame. But, Luton are going to have to make some purchases in January because they are showing a great deal of fight and promise. They just need to make a few purchases and they could end up staying up, almost reminding me of Phil Brown's Hull side, which also were promoted and stayed up that season, I believe, at the expense of Newcastle, I think, and some other teams. And that, of course, featured Phil Brown singing at the end. I believe he was singing Sloop John B. Maybe Mr. B will remember that better than I do. But
no, I don't actually.
Yeah. So I wonder if Luton managed to stay up, maybe Rob Edwards could do a bit of karaoke. I don't know. Maybe maybe some Sinatra or whatever. But long story short, Luton need to make some purchases, and I think Stepsley said it in the chat. If they can find a leader, that would be really good for them. Maybe Ross Barkley could step up and take a bit more responsibility.
Yeah.
And I think there's been some talk about Barkley possibly earning an England recall. I really don't see that necessarily happening, but there have been injuries in certain positions. You never know. Maybe Barkley's form could very well put him back in the frame. If only Southgate were that adventurous, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, to you, Mr. B.
We know your answer there.
Yeah. Good to see you, Mr. B. But going over to
Cheers,
Mr. B, your thoughts on the Chelsea against Luton 3-2 win?
Yeah, I thought it was a great game. I was watching this, and I thought it was just a shame that Chelsea gave him a 3-0 head start. I thought Luton, if they just started playing near the end, and with all their fight and what they could have done, they gifted them like the 3 goals. So, they should have done that a lot earlier, the fight, and and putting up the show and the performance. Because Luton are a good team. I really rate them, and I think they're going to stay up. I really do think they're going to stay up. So it was a great game anyway for the neutral as well. This one, so they're always good. Good value. Luton especially to watch. So
Yeah. No, Alessandro, for me, look, when I review Luton so far, I think when you look at when they play with the big teams, I think they gave it their all, man. They gave it their best. They don't get hammered like 3, 4, 5-0. Like, they actually try their best and give it the all, which has been shown. Like, obviously, Arsenal won. They got a bit lucky with Declan Rice last minute, but no, I don't think Luton have been bad. Like, I can definitely see them stay up. I think, yeah. But yeah, for the Chelsea one, I think it's just the goal that they conceded, man. They should have done better. But yeah, next game, Villa 3. No clean sheet for Martinez, but Villa 3, Burnley 2. Manny,
Villa
over
just
to you
about won.
first. Good evening for Unai Emery's side.
Yeah, Mr. B called it no clean sheet. Obviously, I was disappointed, and I will say that although the second goal probably, you could ask questions of Emi being beaten at his near post, and maybe if he had read that better and gotten down better, it would have been good. But such was the sweetness of that strike from Lyle Foster, who seems to be returning to something like his best form. You know,
Yeah.
he couldn't have saved that. No keeper would. Definitely not David Raya, and certainly not Aaron Ramsdale. If anyone gets any ideas, we all know how Ramsdale was beaten at his near post far too many times to count. And I'll tell you something though. After the draw at home to Sheffield United, which was a bit of a shock to their system, and the demoralising defeat to Manchester United, I made it crystal clear in the group chat that Villa needed to win by any means necessary, and it did take a correctly awarded penalty, because even even Ramsey, who apparently is, of course, the brother of Jacob Ramsey, I believe the younger Ramsey who conceded that penalty was a Villa youth product who got sold to Burnley, if I'm not wrong. So another instance where brothers face each other in Premier League competitions for different clubs. Rio and Anton Ferdinand, Jordan and Andre Ayew, among others. We could very well see, if Leicester get promoted and Johnny Suter signs for a Premiership team, we could see them playing. And now, of course, you've got the two Ramseys. And it was also a somewhat fortuitous penalty, but I think for the chances that they created and the tenacity they showed, I would probably say that they deserved that win, but they definitely needed it. And for what it's worth, they still ended the year 2023 with 53 points at Villa Park, definitely Fortress Villa Park, still have the best home record in the league. And one thing which is apparent, though, is that they really do need to strengthen, because the injuries and suspensions are starting to take their toll. I think they are probably a few players short of having a really good squad where you can have at least two good players for every position. They're certainly going to need a new right back, because the experiment of playing Ezri Konsa at right back has got to stop. He doesn't have the ability to truly overlap and go forward. At least when you have Cash and Konsa in the team, you could either play a flat back four with Konsa and Pau Torres, or you could even go for a back three with Konsa, Torres, and Diego Carlos, with Cash and either Digne or Moreno as the left backs. But with Digne now injured, Moreno's the only left back. So that just goes to show that top teams who want to have aspirations to compete for top honours and Champions League places will need big squads. The difference is, though, that Unai Emery definitely sees all of these things and will certainly look to try and strengthen.
Making additions, Manny, to this month. Can you see him making any additions to the team?
Yeah, I'm coming to that. They should. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, but I was actually coming to that. They will. I was mentioning, of course, that with Digne injured, they've only got one left back in Moreno. Maybe they should have signed Tierney when they had the chance. And ironically, they were planning on offloading Digne and possibly getting another left back. So they're certainly going to need two new fullbacks. Tyrone Mings already being out for the season means that apart from Konsa, Carlos, and Torres, they've got the ex-Spud Clement Longley and the ex-Gunner Callum Chambers, neither of whom really are able to quite cut the mustard, in my opinion. Although, to be fair, Chambers hasn't. I mean, they've had chances and not really done well. Longley has certainly looked good in patches, but also made some mistakes. The idea of playing John McGinn in more of a centralised midfield role is not working. He is better on the left wing and only the left wing. They need another central defensive midfielder if they can't have if Camara isn't fit, because I think Luiz doesn't perform too well without Camara beside him. And if there is talk about possibly them selling Johnny Duran, then their striking options could very well look a little bit weak. And Traore has, of course, gone to the African Cup of Nations, I believe, with Burkina Faso. So they will need to make some additions. And I don't know what's up with Robin Olsen. I think they need a solid deputy for Martinez, and he might need to stay. They can't afford to sell him unless they have some faith in Philip Marshall to perform those duties. In fact, they will be playing in the FA Cup. I certainly don't see Martinez playing in that game. That poor fella needs a rest. Several of the first teamers might need a rest, although some will play, because with Middlesbrough also competing for, they're trying to get promotion, or at the very least consolidate position in the Championship. There's no way that they're not going to field a full strength side. So Villa will need some additions. But as far as Burnley are concerned, more spirit, more pluck, more guile. They beat Phil McCraven Cottage, couldn't quite do the trick at Villa Park. They're going to need some additions too, and if they can improve their style of play, then maybe they could make a late charge. And it was interesting to see how Company was so proud of his team at the end of that game. He said he was the proudest manager in the whole of the Premiership. Well, we'll see how much those words really mean at the end of the season. But a pretty decent game, very end-to-end stuff. Villa will need to improve their defensive play and quit playing the high line. If they want to play the high line, then everyone has got to stay, switched on and focused. Because once that high line is broken, one-on-one with Martinez, it's either a brilliant save or you round the keeper and it goes right in. I think Emery's going to have to really start looking at that and being a bit more flexible. So, yeah, my 2 pence.
Yeah. Agreed with you, Mr. B. Obviously, I know you predicted that Martinez won't keep a clean sheet, but your overall thoughts on the Villa win against Burnley?
Yeah, well, I actually thought Burnley were really unlucky, man. I thought they'd done really well in this game, and they really almost come out of an upset. Almost nicked a point at least, which I think they probably would have deserved. But I think Villa, they're showing that they're in this for the long haul, I guess, and they're looking to get maybe either, if they can't win the Premiership, at least a European spot or something, maybe Champions League or something like that. And then also they've got the other cup competitions that they'll be in, FA Cup and all that. Obviously starting this actually one starting tomorrow, isn't there? And it's Friday and the weekend, of course, as well. So. I think they're trying to get something. I think they're going to get, at least maybe top 5. So they're going to get in probably into Europe anyway. So I just can't see them having enough for the winning the Premiership, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Mr. B, if I can cut in, do you think they'll get Champions League football?
Yeah. Well, why not? Why not? I think they're doing well enough. They're up there, aren't they? So. I think at least, maybe could get 4th, maybe,
Also, Emery has to be careful because a lot of these players can get fatigued and, you don't want to ruin up. So, you just have to be careful with the fitness levels with the team. Ollie, your thoughts on the Villa win against Burnley 3-2 win?
Yeah, I predicted a Villa win. I thought they'd win, but Burnley played well. They could have got something out of it. As Mr. B said, they're a bit unlucky in the game. They could have got something from it, 2-2, and then obviously late penalty. But yeah, good win for Aston Villa. Aston Villa are doing well at the moment, second in the league. And Burnley aren't doing too great, so yeah.
For me, look, Burnley, they were a bit unlucky, but at the end of the day, you need to take your chance. In the Premier League, you must take your chances on it. If you don't, you get screwed, you get punished. So yeah, but Burnley they did play well, which is I was surprised because I thought Villa would maybe comfortably win, but Burnley tried to give something to Villa. So yeah, next game, Mr. B, and Palace 3, Brentford 1. What is going on?
I might leave now, Iris. What a disaster, man. 1-0 up and then quickly went to shit, didn't it? So what the hell are we going to do, man? I ain't got a clue now. We got
when is
FA
Tony
Cup.
back? When's Tony back?
I think he might already be available, actually. Because I think he could play in the FA Cup, which is this Friday. We got Wolves. So I think he may be able to play in that. So that would be great, But I think our priority is the Premiership, though. I'm not bothered about the FA Cup. I want us to stay in the Premier. I really want us to stay here. So, I'm more interested in getting away from the relegation and hopefully getting some new players in as well this month. I really hope we can. And if Tony's back, at least, and if he can play in this one, because all he's been doing is playing behind closed doors friendlies. So, he's not actually really up to match speed yet. So, match fitness.
Yeah,
So I'd like to see him play in the FA Cup to gain a bit more, really. And possibly,
agreed. But at least there is some trust with Thomas Frank, though, no? Because I don't think there's rank to be saying, "Oh, Thomas Frank out, get him out of the football club," this and that. But
no.
there is still trust with the manager. I'm sure about that. But yeah, listen, for me, I think the injuries have hurt you for me, and yeah, Tony being out, man, and also Mbemo being out until March, which is that is
right shit, man. That was a right shit, him being out. But hopefully things can get better. We can get a few players back, and then even if we do get through this, fair enough, and have a little cup run. But as long as we stay in the Prem, that's the main thing to me. So
yeah, exactly. Manny, over to you. Brentford, what's the problems going on there? What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, I really should apologise to Mr. B, because I was one of those people who predicted that Brentford would take advantage of Palace being winless for 8 games in a row. Fat lot of good shows how much I know, eh?
Well, I thought it'd be a draw, didn't I? So shows how wrong I was as well.
Yeah, but you weren't too far wrong, because it's a point differential. For me, it's 3 points, so you know how it is. And you had a great start, but I think you did warn in the group chat that if you start too early and then concede, you might end up going flat. And sadly, that's sort of how it works. I think, maybe with the players coming back in, maybe they lacked a little bit of sharpness, I would say. And, somehow Roy ended up seeing everything he touched turn to gold. And I don't want to talk about everything Thomas Frank touched, but yeah, you know why. But look, Brentford really shouldn't have any kind of knee-jerk reactions here, because there are several worse teams in the league than the Bees right now. And once you do get that win and get your confidence back, you will start to fly again. But I do seem to remember you, Mr. B, talking about the prospect of getting a striker from the MLS in January to try to cover for the absence of both Tony and Mbeumo. I know that Tony will be coming back, but then he might possibly, because given of course the specifics of his gambling allegations, which of course proved true, he might possibly need to do a little bit of groveling before Frank lets him back into the team, for obvious reasons. So you will certainly need a decent striker. You are going to have to depend on the likes of Damsgaard a lot more, and if you can get a striker in January, then that will definitely serve you the purpose. And don't knock the MLS strikers. Villa did get Johnny Duran, hungry like the wolf, and maybe Vasquez could do you some good service. And you're another club that also needs to buy at least just 1 or 2, if not more, players in the window to try to settle everything down. And once your players do come back and, as you say, get a bit of fitness, they'll be fine. I think Crystal Palace probably needed this win in some ways, but there are still some problems with them. They can't afford to depend on Eze and Elise to do everything for them. They are going to have to make sure that everyone else starts pulling their weight. And with Johnston being injured, Dino Henderson, as Oris will tell you, is a little bit too up and down as a goalkeeper. And it's amazing how there are so many injuries for England's goalkeepers. Pope's out, Johnston's out. So maybe Ramsdale shouldn't have to worry about not getting first-team football at Arsenal, because unless Southgate wants to do a really huge U-turn and pick the aging, creaking Joe Hart for the squad, he might have to consider the likes of Henderson and Ramsdale. So...
he got a kick in the face, was he, yesterday? Oh, did you see that game against, was it St Mirren? I think they beat, was it 3-1 or whatever, 3-0?
Well, what can I say? It just goes to show that no matter how old you are, you got to get stuck into it. And maybe that's the type of a player that England needs. None of these, pretty boys or nonsense, as you would call them. You've got a battle-hardened soldier in Charles Joseph John Hart. I say bring him back for one final England swan song, and then say thank you and goodbye. That
He's
way,
head
at
and
least if
shoulders
he,
above the rest. Head and shoulders. No, sorry, no, that's an old joke, really. But head and
no,
shoulders.
well, I mean, he can't have changed the shampoo, mate. And of
Well,
course,
you
if he
never
does
know.
and of course, if he does earn one more cap, he will go
Yeah.
beyond David Seaman in the list of most capped goalkeepers for England. He's on 75, of course, as is Hart. So, yeah, that could be an option. But without digressing, I think Brentford, you lot need to get one or two players in the window and hope that the injured players who've come back in can really get back to speed. I think this FA Cup game will be key for you. And as for Palace, well, like I said, some of their players are going to have to start standing up to be counted, especially if there are some injured players themselves who could be coming back in. This is their time to shine. So all is not lost. I'm sure you will recover your sting. And as for the Eagles, we'll see if they fly high again.
I think Elise and Eze were the difference here as well, anyway. So, no, they were brilliant. You know, without them, I don't think they would have been that great. I think we may have beaten them, possibly.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Ollie, over to you now. Your thoughts
Yeah.
on the win against Brentford 3-1.
Yeah, I think I predicted a Palace win, unfortunately, for Mr. B, but yeah. But no, you know, Brentford not looking good. They need to start picking up form. Maybe, you know, I don't know if Tony will move to Arsenal. Maybe we'll see. If he
don't you
stays.
start. I've had enough of all that all this week and whatever. Bloody going on, man, about Tony. It's enough now. Can we have a Tony free zone, please?
All right, sorry. But no, Elise did well for Palace, and yeah, good win for Palace.
I've got some contradiction views with Tony to Arsenal, but we'll get to Arsenal later on. But, very contradicting, but my thoughts, yeah, look, Palace, it was a good win for them, but like I said, let's see if Palace can keep going, because I really think Palace fans, they're being angry with Roy Hodgson's team selection. I've been seeing online, they're not happy with him being too defensive. So, yeah, I think he's going to definitely leave at the end of the season. They'll probably get, who knows, they could get Frank Lampard. You never know who Palace can get, but they need to get a good manager. Obviously, Frank Lampard is out of the window, but they need to get a good candidate, because I think there's good candidates out there. Not Wayne Rooney, definitely not him, but like get a good manager who would play good football that Palace fans would entertain. So, obviously, Olise, there's a lot of rumours about him potentially join Man United, which I'm not believing that, but yeah.
You'd take him, Morris, wouldn't you? You'd have him.
Of course I would, but obviously I would take him, but United, I'll talk about United later, but yeah, a good win for Palace. And Brentford, yeah, obviously they got the FA Cup, but we'll touch on the FA Cup after this, but yeah, Brentford, they need to find their form back. So yeah, I mean, this next game, we don't really need to, go on, but City 2, Sheffield United 0. I mean, yeah, everyone predicts City win there, really. Everyone predicts City win. What is it? They got one game in hand, and if they win that, they go ahead of Arsenal.
Against us, I think.
Against Arsenal. So yeah, no more bigger fish to fry. No more on this top of the league Christmassy jazzer. So yeah, City club in crisis. But yeah, good one for City overall. But listen, we all predicted City win, but obviously Haaland, De Bruyne coming back now. I mean, yeah, if City win this, then they break United's record because they break the record actually, because no team has ever done it 4 times in a row. So yeah, if I'm correct, yeah. So yeah. Does anyone want to add a comment here about Sheffield or Man City in general?
It's pretty easy, wasn't it, for City? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
No real fight.
I thought Sheffield, they could have done something, but yeah. But listen, those two strong for them, but it is what it is. Good win for City. Next one, Wolves 3, Everton. No, this was a smashing from Wolves. I didn't think this coming from Everton, by the way, but
I had Wolves to win, I think. this one.
Yeah.
He would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But predicted 3-0.
I think it was 3-0, yeah. I'm sure I put 3-0 this one.
Over to you first. I mean, wow. What happened to Sean Dash's tactics in this one?
Well, obviously it didn't work, did it? I think Wolves are great again. I really do like Wolves, and the manager is class and quality. So, and they got some fine players there. The Netos and whatever there. And who was it who scored in this one again? I'm trying to think. Was Wayne? Did Wayne get a goal? Or he played?
yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah, so it was
Cunha.
Kilman, Cunha, and Dawson.
Gilman. Yeah, Cunha. Yeah. They got some really good players. And,
Man, like Craig Dawson. Wow.
yeah, he's still doing it, isn't he? He's 30 something now, isn't he? 35.
Yeah.
33. 33.
33. Yeah, he's still doing it, isn't he? There, so age doesn't seem to matter, doesn't it? Look at Silva at Chelsea. Was he 39? He's still doing it, isn't he? At that age, so don't really matter, does it? What age you are? Age is just a number, I suppose. At the end of the day, if you're still good enough, you can still do it. So. I think Wolves are going to get on. I think they may even get into possibly Europe, possibly Europa Conference or something like that. I'd like to see them do that, especially with their manager. So, and I think they're on really good form here. And I don't know what we can do against them. I'd probably lose again, I expect, because we lost to them before. So. But as I say, I'm not really that bothered about the FA Cup exactly. So, but Wolves are on the up, and I don't know what Everton can do. Whether they're going to get out of this. I mean, they were going well as well. Actually, I think, weren't they, for a while? So, who knows, man? I don't know who Everton have got next. They're in the FA Cup as well, aren't they? So,
Yeah, they are.
yeah.
But I was not shocked, but I was a bit surprised, man. Like, listen, Wolves. Gary Neal, like he's been doing incredible things with Wolves this season. Obviously, some matches they've been a bit harshly punished by some of the decisions, but yeah, man, Wolves they've been good. Obviously, Hanky Chan. I know he didn't score, but looking like a good player. Yeah, Cunha, good goal, but I don't when I look at Cunha, he's not really of a striker for me. I thought he's like more of a winger, but yeah, good win for Wolves. Manny, over to you.
I'm one of the few people who predicted that with Everton having hit a good run of form, it would be a Desmond. Showed how much I know. I completely underestimated Wolves' ability at home this season because certainly not Liverpool or Aston Villa, but boy, they've looked good. And, Everton obviously hit a bit of a huge bump in the road, and they are going to have to look at some of their tactics maybe. I think it could very well be time for Dyche to do away with the 5-4-1 or 4-5-1 or what have you, because goals were completely hard to come by. And once again, O'Neill's 3-4-3 has done the job, believe you me. And I mean, yeah, Mr. B has pretty much been lyrical in his praise of Gary O'Neill, and I am inclined to agree with him, given how Wolves were in a bad state when he took over, and he's pretty much gotten them playing again. And I thought the tribute to Lamina was absolute class after the first goal. And they're a club which will definitely look to stay up. Everton have sort of been given a reminder that this is the Premiership, and despite their upturn in form prior to this game, nothing will come easily. So they are going to have to start bucking up their ideas. And of course, they will be playing Crystal Palace tomorrow in the FA Cup. I wonder if Jordan Pickford will be given the rest. That fella's played in practically all of his games. I certainly wouldn't want, to risk him being injured or tired out for England's Euro campaign.
Who's the
And it would
reserve
be
keeper then for Everton, Manny? Do you know there?
some guy named João Virginia, I believe, and it's
Oh,
immaterial because whoever has been the reserve goalkeeper has hardly ever played unless Pickford has been injured or rested. I do seem to remember the former Chelsea goalkeeper Asmir Begovic playing a few games. He's going to be playing with
He's
QPR against Bournemouth this weekend. So yeah. Some, I think, they just need to have a slight reset, and maybe Dyche needs to start thinking about his tactics. And we're going to talk about that game later on. But Wolves are still, howling, they're snarling, they're snapping, and they're going to be, a huge banana skin for several teams this season. They've already beaten Manchester City. As an Arsenal fan in our current form, I'm afraid. I'm very afraid.
Yeah, definitely, man. You should be afraid. Ollie, over to you. Obviously, the Wolves win. Massive win for them. What's your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I think I predicted a Wolves, and I think I predicted a 2-1 in this game. I thought it'd be quite a tight game. Didn't know Wolves would, be this convincingly. But yeah, the defenders did well. Craig Dawson and Kilman with a goal, and then Cunha with a goal as well. Huang got an assist. So, but yeah, not good for Everton, but good win for Wolves.
Yeah, exactly, man. And you know what? Obviously, Wolves, they've got they got FA Cup. Yeah, they played Brentford. So Wolves, we should see. Listen, they're like a mix and mix because obviously I say that they've been harshly done by a decision, but also at times there are quite a few spells where they don't finish their chances. So I think that's something where they need to improve. I know obviously Hwangi Chan is scoring the goals, but when I look at them, there are a lot of chances that they have, but they just don't take it. So maybe they need a few more additions this trying to window, but we shall see. Next game, it is Nottingham Forest. Man United won. A well-deserved win for Forest, to be fair. They played absolutely fantastic. Eric, I'm gonna be honest. I think this match was probably the most. This is probably the only match I was angry at Tenag. And for me, you do not take off our best player for Scott McTominay. That one, when I saw that substitution, I was screaming, "What are you doing, son?" Because that affected the game. And I'm sorry. After the game, I'm sorry, but you can't say, but when we got our players back for injuries, you will see. No, mate. No Premier League team will have an injury-free team again. And a match, it won't happen. Every team will have one or two injuries. I'm sorry, Tenag. Yes, I understand Casemiro and Martinez are vital players, but you cannot blame injuries. I'm sorry, but not a big Premier League team. Well, apart from Klopp, obviously, but they don't moan. They just get on with it. But yeah, Forest. They go first half. I went asleep, man. I fell asleep because mate, I was boring, man. Sitting back, and obviously Hoyland didn't make it because obviously he was ill. But Rashford up top, no service. Bruno, I'm fed up with this guy. Eriksen, I warn people about Eriksen, man. He cannot play 2 or 3 matches in a row. It just can't happen. He gets fatigued way easily. And our defense, that lot was quiet for me. Evans, listen, he should not be here at this club. I know he's done. He's not the fault, but then again, he shouldn't be at the club. Varane, I thought he was okay. But no, look, Forest, they go. I thought, obviously, when we did the preview, I thought, you know what? I thought United were going to have more of the position. Forest sit back and hit Arsenal on the counter, but no, it didn't work like that. Obviously, Nuno probably told his team, guys, let us have the ball and let's create chances. So, yeah, bad day at the office. Tenag, boy, he needs to step up now because obviously Ineos, Ratcliffe, Brailsford, they'll be looking, and if he doesn't pick up the results, obviously we're touching the Wigan FA Cup. I wouldn't be surprised if we was to get knocked out, if I'm being honest. and then obviously we play Tottenham, and if it doesn't get a result there, yeah, I'm genuinely being serious. He could get sacked, and it won't surprise me. But for me, like I say, sacking Ten Hag, then who do we bring in? We're just gonna let Steve McLaren, Darren Fletcher be on interim? No chance. So look, it's just bad the other office for me, and Forest deserved the 3 points, and Elanga obviously getting the assist. Look, obviously he did come out after the match saying that he was only getting quite a few minutes and he didn't start for the next couple of matches. But yeah, some of our players, he just didn't turn up. Anthony, for me, probably the worst. He's worse than Bebe, man. Probably our worst winger at the club, man. He's worse than Bebe. This Man United attack is the worst I've seen, man. I know there's people older than me and probably agree with me, but for me, it's probably the worst attack I've ever seen. But yeah, over to you guys. You can talk about Ten Hag and Man United and Steve McLaren potentially being interim. Let's go to Manny. I know you're smiling at some of us.
Yeah, well, let me start by saying that it was a well-deserved win for Forest.
It was.
Forest.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that as England fans, both Steve and I can definitely agree that you will not want to be, serviced by the Wally with the brolly, given how poorly that turned out for England. Of course, after he got fired, we got Fabio Capello in. I'm sure as heck you would not want him in the job anyway. So, yeah, it was one of those days, again, where what Ten Hag tried simply didn't work out. That Aston Villa game showed him at his tactical best, but against Forest, I think in some ways he probably lost the plot a little bit. And big up to Anthony Elanga. And we will be talking about the ex-player effect later on when you talk about the Craven performance at the Craven Cottage. But he obviously was determined to prove a point or two, and he ended up winning all three. So, well done to him, and well done to the other players who stood up and made themselves counted. Gibbs White, in particular, was quite outstanding in a way, although there are some people who will think that he was being a little bit of a git and should have been sent off for, mouthing off the referee in addition to those really harsh tackles. And at least if Gonzalo Montiel, who's already had a World Cup win, doesn't have too many more highlights from his spell at the City Ground, at least he can say he beat Manchester United. Not that it might mean very much in retrospect, but a good win for Nuno. Obviously, they started off badly with a home loss to Bournemouth, but then the win over Newcastle and now this win have probably brought some belief back. And I think maybe he is starting to restore a bit of his reputation, which took a bit of a beating after, that ill-fated stint at Tottenham. That's what you get, of course, for telling Joe Hart that he's not good enough. And, karma bit you back in such a horrible way. But as far as Ten Hag is concerned, he does have some problems. And listen, this is going to be the time, Oris, when a lot of tough decisions are going to have to be made. If there are any players who are causing problems in the dressing room, then they're going to have to be booted out ASAP. They cannot be allowed to stay at the club, until the end of the season. Otherwise, the stench is going to linger. Of course, we very harshly got rid of Aubameyang, and it didn't do us much good because we bottled that top four race to Conte, who, of course, replaced Nuno midway through that season. That was a criminal offence. How we bottled the top four to him, I will never know. And, but at least according to the top Gooners, we improved the team spirit, although I will talk a bit about that later on. And, United need to sort out those problems. I'm sorry. The Jadon Sancho thing has got to be resolved ASAP. Rashford's going to have to be given a talking to ASAP. Onana, if he might have gone to the Cup of Nations. So this should now be Bayindir's chance to stake his claim for performances. And Ten Hag is now going to have to, take off his blinkers and say, if Bayindir is doing really well, then I might just keep him in. I take the point that Onana has improved. I take the point that he has the most clean sheets, but he is still a little bit inconsistent, and it will be a matter of time before he makes another poor error again. Mark my words. So
guess what, man? Guess what? I know you say that. Today has come out that Man United, Cameroon have let Man United to keep Onana for the FA Cup and the
Ooh.
Spurs game. So
There you
yeah,
go.
listen, for me, it's probably for me when you look at it, that hinders like confidence. For me, it will be so bad for Bailey's confidence. But it's ten. I blame Ten for this. I was definitely on the phone to Cameroon and say, please, Cameroon, help Ronaldo for the Spurs game. So I know he wants to try and have the ball squad against Spurs. Give
Yeah.
back the chance, man. Give him a
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know where the echo is coming from, but glad that's gone. But Forest are starting to look okay, but they will need to, keep it going any which way. United need to solve their problems, and January is going to be the month when those problems should be tackled head on, both on the field and off the field, and dealt with. That's all I'm going to say.
Exactly. Mr. B, your thoughts on obviously Nottingham Forest, the 3 points against Man United?
Yeah, were some very merry men from the Forest, weren't they? This one, they were very very happy. So I thought I thought they deserved it. To be honest, I didn't see a lot from United. I really didn't. So disappointing. And you'd probably say you probably on the day you should have had the better players to win the game. But Forest, you got to give them a lot of credit because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're going to go down. Forest, they're not good enough. They're going to go down." I don't say that. I think they're a very good team, and even when Cooper was still there, I thought they was going to still stay up, and maybe he was harshly dealt with. Cooper, maybe he should have stayed, but Nuno's doing it at the moment, but that's new manager bounce, and I think the honeymoon's gonna be over soon at some stage, isn't it? But I think Forest, I think they're good enough to stay up. I really do. I can't see them being in trouble. But United have certainly got a lot of problems. And I don't know what they're going to do now. But I was going to say, obviously, you can't really sack the manager because you just can't keep bringing in new managers every time. It's not going to solve the problem. So you just got to grin and bear it at the moment, and that's all you can do, Horace. I'm afraid, man. So
Yeah, man, 100%. But obviously, before I come to Ollie, for me, the reason why I said Ten could be in trouble is Dave Brailsford. Obviously, that's Ratcliffe's guy. Obviously, that have come in. He's been at United games for 2 games now. Obviously, he went to the Old Trafford against Villa. Obviously, we won there, but went to the Forest game and we lost. Let's say he goes obviously to Spurs game and somehow we lose. It's not look good on Ten Hag, man. I'm sorry, but for me, any new owner that come to a club, they want the old man and bring in their own people. So yeah, Ollie, over to you now. Obviously, Man United lose 2-1 to Forest. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously a good win for Forest. I think I predicted a Man United win in this one. I thought they'd win the game, but Forest, won the game. Gives the White and Dominguez with the goals. So yeah, good win for Forest. Not looking good for Man United. They don't need to pick up the form now.
Yep, we do. But yeah, look, as Manny said, we need to get rid of the players, man. The ones that in the dressing room still have Luke Shaw. Obviously, he's been there for 9 years. Who else? Do we have Rashford? Yeah, for me, it's more easier to get rid of a manager than players. For me, like if you want to terminate a player, obviously you have to pay them fully and stuff. But getting rid of managers is just quite simple. You pay them and then they're gone. So, but listen, for me, sacking Ten Hag will not do anything because managers we've had Mourinho, Oli, Ragnick. I think I mentioned Oli twice now, but yeah, we've had a lot of managers. So yeah, but no, look, with Ten Hag, his man management in the game is appalling, man. His positions, his substitution, it's just dreadful, man. Like obviously today we saw pictures of Customer and Martin's return to 14 training, which is brilliant because hopefully that phases out Scott McTominay, who for me should have gone to West Ham in the summer, but didn't. Fortunately not. But yeah, good to see both of them back. Next game.
Yeah, Manny. And Ollie.
One. And before I get to Manny and
I
Ollie,
got this one right as well, by the way.
I did see
Got it right.
on Twitter exclusive Arsenal have complained MOL of the rough treatment of the.
Yeah. Terrible, yeah. We feel so sorry for him, don't we?
This is definitely Arteta, you know. Arteta definitely complained, you know. It's like they should have said Arteta has complained, the Arsenal Football Club. But Manny, Manny, talk to me, man. Like Chris, he was top of the league. I know you weren't saying it, like you weren't getting gas, but Arsenal fans saying, "Oh yeah, look Arteta, he's brought in a winning mentality in the team. This and that, they can rise, this and that." Manny, what's going on? What's going on?
Can I just start by saying one word, both in reference to that story and our performance at Craven Cottage? Pathetic. Pathetic. And I don't quite know who said it like that. If memory serves me right, it was Ursula the Sea Witch in The Little Mermaid. But whatever. But as I said on Twitter, as I said on Twitter, it was a performance like that really put the Craven in Craven Cottage. How do you explain going ahead after 4 minutes and then inexplicably making the decision to sit back and allow Alex Iwobi and Willian to come at us on both wings and cook our fullbacks? Zinchenko was injured, so we brought in Kivior. Hooked him off at halftime, tells the story. The less said about Benny Blanco, the better. I mean, was he trying to match the color of Fulham's jersey with his new hair color this time? I don't know. And, you know, it wasn't just the ex-Gunners, Iwobi and Willian. And, of course, you know, Bernd Leno might have, you know, made the save, which inadvertently led to the goal, but he also kept himself fairly solid throughout, and quite satisfying for him to take 4 points away from us this season, as it was for Iwobi and Willian, who didn't play against us in the at the Emirates. And you know, they wanted it more than we did, and why we saw it fit to just sit back and not really try to, you know, create anything and try and support each other, I will never know. It's like, you know, you get that early goal, you want to try to impose yourself. And in the corresponding fixture last season, which I'm sure they will remember, we beat them 3-0 handily. We scored early, and we got some more 2 more goals, which really, you know, made sure that we took the 3 points we needed. But when you put in a performance like that, which was limp and listless and lackadaisical and absolutely loathsome, you end up getting the L. That's 4 L's, which will give you an even bigger L. And, I mean, I can't even think of a single Arsenal player who had a good game. David Raya had one brilliant save in the second half where he clawed it behind. But, yeah, I don't necessarily think he was at fault for the goals, but there is a worrying stat that he is now the goalkeeper with the lowest save percentage among keepers who played a minimum of 10 games. And the ironic thing is, we got rid of Ramsdale for his poor save percentage, especially during the second half of the season, where we, you know, bottled the title race. It's like out of the frying pan into the fire. What is the use of having a goalkeeper who can distribute the ball beautifully and land it on the sixpence if he can't save basic shots? I mean, look, he's better on crosses than Ramsdale. And he does make some decent saves. He's not really put a foot wrong, except, of course, against Luton, where both his feet were wrong in making 2 mistakes. But, you know, it just goes to show that Arteta's ID is absolutely dreadful. Neither of those 2 goalkeepers are good enough. But as far as the outfielders are concerned, Martinelli started well with that shot. But, again, you know, you're expecting him to try to cut in too early, but I think other managers have pretty much found out that if you shut him in and don't allow him to cut in early, he has to go all the way around and try and get in. And that's not suiting his style of play. He's much better as a centre forward. Stick him in the middle for crying out loud. Then you won't even have to consider Nketiah and spending more money than you can afford on someone like Tony or, the pipe dream of Osimhen or even the wild card of Dominic Solanke or anyone else. Just stick Martinelli in as a centre forward for Pete's sake. And once again, after the highs of his performances, I think against West Ham and Fulham, it has to be said that Declan Rice was once again undercooked. Didn't have the best of games overall. And worryingly, Saliba and Gabriel have also seen their form dip a great deal. And what's even worrying is that, again, our bench cover is simply, not good enough in all areas. And what are we going to do? Who can we possibly buy? We have to depend on the likes of Timber coming back. Tomiyasu's gone to play for Japan and Qatar. And El Neni's also gone. Not like we would have used him anyway, but still, at least we would have had him on the bench and brought
Nelson's
him on to...
going as well. He's leaving, isn't he? Nelson, apparently.
Who?
I've heard. Nelson. He's leaving, I think.
In January. Well, if a club wants to take him on, then, that leaves us even short of cover for Bukayo Saka. So I really can't even understand what's going on. And as far as Fulham are concerned, credits to them. As I said, they wanted it more. They executed their game plan brilliantly. Full marks to Anthony Robinson for cooking both Ben White and Bukayo Saka in that game. And, Willian and Iwobi were men on a mission to dent us again. It's the ex-Gunners that are killing us. Last season, it was Theo Walcott. This season, it's been Joe Willock, Emi Martinez, Mavropanos, and now Leno, Willian, and Iwobi. Who's next? I swear. You said it one time. It's like biting the hand that feeds you, but I prefer to think of it as biting the hand that sends you on your merry way and tells you you're not good enough. They come back and say, "Right, you mug, I'm going to show you how wrong you were." And so much for being Christmas champions from first to fourth, it's a slump, and we still have these Muppets saying who were changing the goalposts, saying, you know what? Even if we're a solid 75-point team, we're still a good team. We're still we can still say that we're doing well enough to warrant Arteta staying on. Talk about changing your goalposts. For crying out loud, the stuff that's being said to defend Arteta after this game, when frankly he, like his teammates, deserve no credibility, is just disgusting. And there are now some, of course, who've changed their tune. No, you don't get to change your tune just because the facts change. You can't change your mind. Back him all the way to the season. Stay until the end. Don't walk out of the Emirates Stadium like you did against West Ham, like you did against Brighton last season. Stay until the end and back your team, you shameless mugs. And
turncoats, mate. That's what they are. Turncoats.
Beautiful choice of word, mate. Turncoats is exactly what they are. And unless we get our acts together in January, oh my goodness, we've got Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest. These are games which we should be winning, but even then, I'm not even too sure now.
Yeah, exactly. Ollie, what happened? Talk to me. What happened?
I don't know. Not good enough. Just yeah.
Talk to me more, Ollie. Like Nketiah, what's going on with Nketiah? Like, did you agree with Arteta starting him? Do you need the strap? Obviously, if you mention Tony, Mr. B will be out of his mind. But enough.
Listen,
talk about Tony. I'll touch about. Go on, Ollie.
I do think we need to sign a striker. And Nketiah and Jesus aren't good enough, so we do need to sign a striker to. Yeah.
Yep. So, Arsenal fans demanding for Tony. Right. Tony, keeping Brentford up and winning the Premier League for Arsenal is two massive different things for me. And this does not mean, if we get Tony, Arteta is going to win the Premier League because we've got a striker now. No. Because Tony, one, his fitness is not there yet because obviously he's got banned. Two, is it a guaranteed chance he will get goals when he gets signed in? Because it's not guaranteed that he will get goals. Obviously, he's not matched up yet. Three, Brentford, they will demand a lot from him. But Arsenal will probably more likely to pay for because they paid Nexus Pepe 72 million. But listen, Thomas Frank, did he not say that he feels like Tony's 100 million? So they will demand 100 million. So yeah. Although I think that's a bit too much, but I don't know what Mr. B thinks. But yeah, look, there's no guaranteed chance Tony will get goals. Like for me, there's more chance of Odegaard doing more expected hair flicks than Tony getting
Or put snot in his hair, like that,
hair flicks. But yeah, I mean Odegaard, guys, I'm surprised all the money. I'm not speaking about Odegaard, like what's going on, guys? Like Odegaard, no topic about him.
Well, listen, I mean, credit to the guy. He's been trying to make a few things happen, but he'll also start well and fade away because I think a lot of other teams have worked him out. If you try to crowd him enough and you end up double or treble teaming him, he is sort of going to start losing his way, and People are starting to target some of our star players, and of course, it's not just Bukayo Saka who's being subject to this treatment. I mean, obviously, he's been fouled many times, but it isn't just the fouls. It's about stopping the momentum and stopping us in our tracks and forcing us to, abandon our press once we get into their half of the field. And it seems to be working. So unless we buck up our ideas and start, really moving through the center a lot more, we're going to struggle. And that means that, none of this going out to the wings, none of this perverted, inverted stuff. Thankfully, because we don't have Zinchenko, we're not going to get to invert. And because, God forbid we play Partey at right back again. Oh, boy. Some of the things that Arteta does, I really can't make sense of it.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Mr. B.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Well, as I said, I predicted this one. I said 2-1 Fulham, so got it spot on. I just knew you'd bottle it again. I knew you'd do it, Arsenal, because you always do.
Yep.
That is what it's like, man. I knew, because Fulham having a field day there, man, and I do rate how they play football for them. They do play some good stuff, And Silva's got
I thought Paulinho was very good, Paulinho.
Yeah. Paulinho, he's quality, man.
And
I just think, well, would you try and sign him, Arsenal? Do you think you'd get Paulinho? Do you think you'd try and get him, or?
Paulinho, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Is it the one at Fulham, isn't it, Paulinho? Yeah.
Well, it depends on whether Fulham are willing to let him go. And I think, if he's central to their plans, they're going to say no. So, sadly, I don't think there will be that silver lining for us.
Oh, right. Well, as I say, I think Fulham, you didn't seem like you wanted it enough, Arsenal.
Exactly.
You didn't seem interested. And I thought Fulham were a much better team. And, I thought they got what they deserved and a good win, and I don't know what next for you lot. I don't know. But you obviously got the FA Cup now as well. So, but you don't really want to win that. You won that so many times. You want to get something out. You want the Premier or the Champions League or whatever, really, didn't you? But I can't see either of them happening. So, what are you going to do? Is it going to be third, fourth? And bloody Arteta should be off. Really, shouldn't he? Let's be honest.
No, if you get second and doesn't win the FA Cup, Arsenal fans will still back him, like saying, but you got us Champions League again. But listen, the standards way need to be higher now. Yes, obviously, for the FA Cup, we'll touch on that. But like I say, if they get knocked out, they will say the same thing like last season. Bigger fish to fry. So, yeah, all that crap. But yeah, listen, we'll see. We got FA Cup matches to talk about soon. We do have 3 games left, and then we'll get on to the FA Cup. Tottenham 3, Bournemouth 1. Just quickly, look, Tottenham. I thought they played very good. Bournemouth, to a certain point, they look very dangerous. They look very dangerous. Like they tried to hit Spurs, find their weaknesses, but Tottenham, Son, those goals, that's what you call team goal, man. And obviously at the end, Ange Well, it wasn't even Ange. It was like someone from the coach stuff, like trying to have a fight with Bournemouth. Bournemouth stuff. So, yeah, I mean, like, guys, settle down. But yeah, massive win for Tottenham. Obviously, now they're 1 point behind the Gooners. But yeah, Tottenham, they look good. Listen, I'm nowhere near for me to be saying that they're going to win the league, but they are looking good. Obviously, they got Madison returning in February, I think. Van der Ven is returning soon, I believe. Romero, I'm not sure about him. I think he's returning soon either. So yeah, Spurs, they look good. Bournemouth, listen, I would say keep your heads up because you tried your best. Tried to hit Spurs, but yeah, it was for me. I thought it was a good game to watch. Manny, over to you. What's your thoughts on the game?
First of all, let me say big up to Spurs for providing a really good tribute to the departing Hugo Lloris after 447 appearances for Tottenham. He's moved on to pastures new across the Atlantic, all the way over to the west side, the Pacific coast. He'll be playing for a team in Los Angeles, so good luck to him. Or as we would say, au revoir, merci pour les mémoires et bonne chance, monsieur. And pardon my French if I made some mistakes, literally. I think I have. And
we wouldn't know, Manny, because we don't speak it, so.
well, Orest and Ollie might have learnt French in school, so they'd be perfect ones to judge. I'm sure you've learned. You might have learned some French back in your day, definitely, Mr. B.
Yeah, a little bit. Not very good though.
Or as you would say, un petit peu, mais pas très bien. But anyway, and Spurs obviously wanted to try to win today, and they took advantage of Bournemouth being wasteful. And I think we have to give credit to Andoni Areola and how he's actually molded the team. I mean, at one point they were dead certain to get into a relegation scrap, but now they've managed to get some wins, and 4 consecutive wins has really put them a little bit higher in the table, and they can only get better if they just were not so profligate with their chances. In fact, if they weren't so profligate, it could have been a tighter scoreline. I believe at the end they actually had a goal disallowed for offside. But, Spurs clinical when they needed to be. As long as you got Heung-min Son and Richarlison and a few others who were scoring the goals, you don't really need to worry. It wasn't it was more expected, really, because I don't know if I remembered predicting a Desmond in this game, because I didn't think Tottenham would be that good, but they surprised me in any case by showing how committed they were. And as you said, once their injured players come back, Horace, they will start to be a more threatening proposition. And I would be very afraid going to the Tottenham Stadium playing against them, because let's not forget, Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, made a mistake and made Arsenal fans cry. And because the Spurs came out to play, that was 2 precious points we threw away at the Emirates. So at the Tottenham Stadium, can you imagine what could happen? And Bournemouth just need to continue what they're doing. And I think Iraola will obviously analyse the game and look and see what went wrong. It's good to see that David Brooks is still in a part of his plans. They're going to need to sign a new left back as well, because I believe Kirkus and Lloyd Kelly are out for a bit of time. I believe they were playing Dongo Itara at left back, and he went off with an injury, which could affect his and Burkina Faso's chances and at the AFCON. And as I said, they need a left back ASAP. But they do seem to have the midfield and the strikers that could cause a lot of problems. And of course, there has been talk about Arsenal getting one of those strikers in question. They just need to tighten up their defense. And I think Neto, he's good, but he's still showing why he was never really a first-choice goalkeeper throughout his career. Still capable of a few mistakes every now and then. Not that I think he made a mistake this game, but he will need to tighten up a bit. But there's no denying he is still an inspirational player, as is Adam Smith, their veteran right back. And just have to wait for a few more players to come in. Alex Scott's return was certainly a bonus. If they can just get Tyler Adams in that team, light the touch paper and stand back, boys.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. B, your thoughts? Tottenham 3, obviously Bournemouth 1. Your thoughts on the game?
Well, actually, I had Bournemouth to win this, Orest. I thought that was going to be an upset here, because I thought Bournemouth were a really good team. And of course, Solanke's going well. But he's kept quiet in this game, actually, Solanke. So, but I think Spurs were, really good in the game, and I think they deserved the win. Unfortunately, sort of Bournemouth's good run has come to an end a bit. But I don't know. I think they can come back fighting again, Bournemouth. I think, they were in the top 10, weren't they? Or was they mid-table or something now, Bournemouth? So,
Yeah.
I think they've done enough. They want to be comfortable there and stay away from the relegation zone, and I think they will now. I think they're another one that will probably stay up as well. I can't see them being in trouble now either. So, they've got enough there. I think Spurs, though, I still don't think they got enough to challenge for the Premiership. I think they might just fall out of it, probably 5th or 6th. But they're doing well at the moment, but they're not going to stay up there. So
Yeah, exactly. Ollie, your thoughts on the Tottenham win against Bournemouth?
Yeah, good win for Tottenham. I think I predicted a Tottenham win. I thought they'd win this game. Bournemouth weren't the best. Solanke was a bit quiet in this game.
yeah.
But no, good win for Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly. Next game, we have Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2, and a stinker from the ref again. What a surprise! Yeah, good shot to my friend. You absolute diver.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 for that dive.
Oh my God.
Nope. I'm sorry. I saw the game fully, and huge shout out to Stephen Stubbs of the Statman Stubbs channel. I was actually tuned into his watch along. Obviously, any Liverpool fans who are watching the Premier League productions, do not ever. You need to have a campaign to not get Martin Tyler commentating on Liverpool games again. Some of the comments that he made about the Hillsborough disaster have been absolutely disgusting, and he should never be allowed to commentate on Liverpool games again. And any Liverpool fans watching this, you're welcome to clip this if you like, Orest, and I would suggest you do. Make a campaign to make sure he doesn't commentate. So I turned my telly on mute and was listening to Stubbsy, and because we were on the same time, it worked out perfect anyway. And that was one of those games where Newcastle's defense was more porous than one of the one of the softest sponges we'll ever see. But full credit to the one-time Manchester United goalkeeper Martin Dubravka. If it weren't for him, that would have been a cricket score. Some of the saves he pulled off were outstanding. Fair play, the penalty save was from a pretty poor penalty, but you do have to give him credit for standing upright and saving that when other goalkeepers would have dived the other way and allowed that shot to go above them into the net. And, he actually came out and admitted that he did catch Jota's ankle. So did Jota make a meal of it? Absolutely. But was there contact between Dubravka's hand and Jota's ankle? If Dubravka himself admitted it, then that really should be the end of the story. And, of course, maybe, I don't know if you could necessarily take his word as the gospel. Maybe his memory was a bit hazy because that wasn't the only piece of action in which he was involved. But to me, I thought on first glance, I thought that the call was controversial. But when VAR checked it, reviewed it fairly quickly and said it was a penalty, and Dubravka said what he said, that was pretty much the be-all and end-all. Credit to Newcastle for showing some fight, taking advantage of some slack Liverpool defending at times. But, it was one of those games where it was turgid and tepid at times, save for a few saves from Dubravka, and it really exploded in the second half. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. What a privilege it was to see that. An absolute New Year's cracker, as it were. Very explosive. Mo Salah having, a poor first half, but then fighting back in style with a goal and a penalty. And then, of course, it was Curtis Jones. And I don't quite remember who got the fourth one. It might have been Jota, if memory serves me right. Maybe it was. And in between...
Curtis Jones lining up for Arsenal soon, Manny. Curtis Jones lining up for Arsenal. Is that going to happen?
I don't think Klopp will want to sell him, mate, because look, McAllister, of course, it was also a game where we saw the return of the Mac. We knew that he'd be back. And but Wataru Endo also showed a great deal of improvement from that poor game at Selhurst Park. And Newcastle's defence, I mean, they were playing Liverpool onside far too many times. It was scary, it really was, and they were allowing them to just, cut them open at will. The midfield was non-existent. They were literally depending on Isak and Lewis Miley and company to come right in. Sadly, Miley wasn't able to come in like a wrecking ball, and he was replaced with Mr. 24-Karat Magic, Miguel Almiron. But look, all calls to sack Eddie Howe are utterly stupid. The injuries haven't helped. At least now that Dubravka started to improve, there shouldn't be any talk of getting a new goalkeeper, especially when you got him, Loris Karius, the former Liverpool goalkeeper, and Mark Gillespie in the squad. But seriously, some of the defending has been so poor. What does Paul Dummett have to do to get a game? Is he that bad that he can only be named in the squad but never get any minutes? What's happened to the midfield all of a sudden? Bruno Guimaraes once again proving himself to be exceptionally dirty, even if he is quite pivotal at times. And Newcastle need to sort out their issues. Liverpool need to sort out their defence. But Liverpool end the new year top. They begin the new year top of the league. And only they can stop themselves from bottling it to City. But this could very well be a two-horse race. I can't look too far beyond Liverpool and Manchester City competing. Could it be Aston Villa? Could it be Arsenal? Could it be Tottenham that could, join in? We'll have to wait and see. But what a cracker of a game. Can't say it was a perfect Liverpool performance, but not a bad way to spend your New Year's.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. B, your thoughts on the Liverpool game?
Yeah, well, they're sort of one of my favourites to win this, I think, Liverpool. Because I said I sort of predicted that I think they'd be top and then City second. Maybe Arsenal third. Or then again, maybe I don't Villa. But, I definitely think it's going to be 1 and 2 Liverpool City, I reckon. And Liverpool getting the job done. Not playing great at times, but they're still banging the goals. And I think Newcastle look tired or something, shattered. They look totally gone at the moment. I don't know what they can do, whether they're going to sign anyone again. I don't know, but they just look. I don't know at the moment. As Manny said, I don't think you can get rid of Eddie Howe. Look at the job he's done there. It's a great job still, and it's no good getting anyone else in because he's taking over the same squad that are already shattered.
Yeah.
So what can you do anyway? So let him keep going, and I think they're still going to be up there. They're going to be in probably the top 6, 7, maybe. But they're not going to be right near the top. They may get into Europe again, possibly Conference or Europa League. So
yeah.
But as I say, Liverpool, they look like they can. They'll be the nearest challengers to City, I think. So.
Yeah, exactly. Ollie?
Yeah, good game. I watched most of it. Salah played well. Curtis Jones obviously got the goal as well. And Gakpo got a goal. But no, good win for Liverpool.
Exactly. This game, I don't know. Watch this game. Obviously, 0-0. West Ham Brighton.
It was all Brighton, I think, really. No, West Ham were sort of just defending.
For me, when I look at it, I think it's a good point for West Ham because obviously they beat United, they beat Arsenal. So I think some of the players, obviously, some of them are probably fatigued because obviously going to Emirates 90 minutes performing like that, some of their players must be fatigued. But I think it's just a good result for. It's like, no, you're at home and win would have been better, but I don't think it's that bad to be honest. But yeah. Does anyone want to put a comment about this match?
Well, I thought Brighton were the better team, to be honest, and I thought they probably could have won. But I think that West Ham would be more happier with this draw and the point because they weren't really in the game that much. They had 1 or 2 good chances, but I was a bit disappointed with them. But but I think it's good for West Ham still, and I think Moyes, you can't get rid of Moyes either. You know, he's done a great job.
Of course.
So hopefully they stick with him.
Yeah, Manny, did you want to say something?
Yeah, first of all, well done to James Milner, 632 Premiership appearances, joint second in the list behind Ryan Giggs. Will he break Gareth Barry's all-time record? Remains to be seen. And now we know he is not a left back anymore. Play him on the left of midfield, he'll do a fine job for you. At left back, he's going to be, skinned, diced, and chopped like the finest salmon for, sushi. But or even sashimi if you enjoy raw salmon. But a good clean. It's actually a good point in the way for Brighton because they're able to keep a clean sheet, and hopefully this ridiculous rotation between Luke Steele and Bart Verbruggen will come to an end. Steele was a bit shaky at first, but then recovered to make some decent saves. Areola was clearly the busier of the two goalkeepers, with Brighton pressing really hard, and I'd say it's a good point for both teams, to be honest. And De Zerbi was really, really happy with that for some reason. And look, when you've got a situation where both of these managers have managed to win their Europa League groups and take the team to uncharted territory in a way, and they've managed to do well without seeing the team go through a huge slump in form, I take the point that at one stage Brighton and Hove Albion were top of the league before going down, but any Arsenal fans who would dare to, look at them and sneer at them, shut your mouths and eat it. We're in no position to talk. People who live in glass houses should never throw stones, and worryingly, the cracks are starting to show in ours. But back to the match. Look, both of these two teams are going to comfortably finish in the top half of the table, and there should be no talk of sacking either manager, really. With regard to Moisey, maybe he'll have a chat with the board to decide his future. I don't know if he signed a new deal yet. Will the Brighton board be willing to keep De Zerbi? I think it might depend on how well they fare between now and the end of the season. But not a bad way to round out the New Year's fixtures. It wasn't the Christmas cracker that was the Liverpool-Newcastle derby. Call it whatever you want. The Kevin Keegan derby, the Ian Rush derby, the Peter Beardsley derby, the John Barnes derby, the Michael Owen derby, the Terry McDermott derby. It's amazing how many players have graced both clubs, and there are a lot of passions over here. And I'm sure one of the more memorable matches will be that 4-3 game where Stan Collymore scored that breathlessly late winner, which went some way to derailing Newcastle's title challenge. Clearly, Stubbsy and company remember that very well indeed. Big up to them once again. And it was good fun. And but this game wasn't too bad either. I watched as much of it as I could. Was a little bit tired, to be honest. But both teams should be satisfied with clean sheets and a point each. Either team could have won it, but they begin the year with a clean sheet and a point. Roll on.
Exactly. Ollie, do you want to add any comments for this match, Arsenal and Brighton?
Not really. No, just a bit of a boring game. No one getting any goals.
It is a bit.
Yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, we will get on to the FA Cup now. We'll just quickly give score predictions as we go through each games. Just quickly predictions, and we're only doing it Premier League based only. So Palace Everton. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Palace win. Mr. B.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go 2-1 Everton.
Ooh, okay. Ollie?
2-1 Palace.
Money? You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I keep forgetting. I'm going to go for a Desmond 2-2, and if one team has to go through on penalties, it will be Everton.
Does it go straight to... Is it extra time or is it straight to penalty?
No, they play extra time and then it goes to...
replay. No, they scrap
replays.
They scrap
no
the
replays.
Replay.
Yeah, they
scrap the replay. And Mr. B, obviously, we remember a time when replays were there. I think I mentioned one of those. We might need to talk about that again next time you do your debate show because it's rather silly in some ways, but it is what it is, and maybe there's a way that the smaller clubs can be benefited. I do have an idea, But
Oh, cool.
yeah, Everton to win on penalties after a 2-2 draw. If only because Dyche will once again start Jordan Pickford, and if Dean Henderson plays ahead of Matthews, I don't trust either of them.
Yeah, fair enough. Brentford versus Wolves.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna actually, yeah, Mr. B, go first.
Yeah, I'll go first, mate. Well, if it's anything like the last time in the league, I don't want to repeat performance of that. Sorry, but I think we might possibly get a sneaker win, maybe, but it's going to depend if we do have Tony and that playing, apparently I've just read that we're trying to get for Vasquez, sorry, through, rushing through to be ready for this game, possibly trying to get him maybe tomorrow into the club, and try and play him in the game, but he might only come on as a sub or something. But I think if we had Tony, I think maybe we got my pie, because I think the other players are off, Visser and all that are off in the AFCON, so on Yeka and whatever. So I think maybe we may have one or two good strikers possibly there to do something. So I would like to say I'm going to try and go for a 2-1 Brentford, but I'm not confident totally. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 Brentford for this.
2-1 Brentford. Interesting. Ollie?
I'm going to go with 2-1 Brentford as well.
2-1 Brentford. Okay.
Good.
Manny?
Oh boy! How do I call this one? What's an FA Cup without a shock? Brentford to win 2-1 with a winning goal deep into extra time for the Bees.
I'm going to go with
Cheers, bro.
5-0 Wolves. No, I'm joking. 1-0 Brentford. I think it's me. 1-0 Brentford. But yeah, it'll be a bit tight, but I think both teams will a bit they will rotate definitely, but I think Brentford 1-0 cheeky win. Next one, Fulham versus Rotherham. Listen, I think Fulham's gonna win this. I'm gonna go with 2-0 solid win for Fulham. For me, very, very convincing for me. Oh, you never know, but yeah, 2-0 Fulham. Ollie,
3-0 Fulham.
3-0 Fulham. Mr. B.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go 3-1 for them, I think.
3-1. Money?
Yeah, 3-1 for me. I think Silva will want to rotate, obviously give Marek Rodak a game in goal. Deserves it, obviously. And if there are any players in the fringes who want some action, this would be the perfect game to play them. No clean sheet for Rodak, unfortunately, but that won't matter as long as Fulham go through. They haven't had the best time.
A Rodak moment. Oh, sorry, no.
Oh, brilliant. I love that. I got that. Rodak, Kodak, yeah. Nice one, mate. And Fulham haven't had the best time in the Cups under Silva, so they will want to address that balance. So, 3-1 to the Cottagers.
Yeah, fair enough. Tottenham, Burnley. So I'm going to go, listen, Tottenham, it's the Easter of the Tottenham, as Killian said on, but I see them going through. It's going to be a 3-1 Tottenham win. Mr. B?
Sure, yeah. Could there be an upset? Oh, not really. I think 3-0 Spurs.
3-0 Tottenham. Ollie?
2-1 Tottenham.
2-1 Tottenham. Money?
2-0 to the Spurs. Clean sheet for Fraser Forster.
Okay, next one. Ooh.
Jordy Derby.
Sunderland, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Tyne and Weir.
There is going to be a tasty score prediction for me, but 3-1 Sunderland. Mr. B.
Yeah, I'm going to go close one, though, but I think Newcastle would nick it 2-1. Going.
Fair enough. Ollie?
Yeah, I think 2-1 Newcastle.
Money?
Oh, what's a Tyneside Wearside derby without thrills, spills, and controversies and goals? This is also going to be a Desmond 2-2, and Newcastle to go through on penalties. I think Howe might possibly replace Dubravka with Loris Karius for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunderland are doing quite well in the Championship, but I think they will come up short. Newcastle will be told, if you lose this, then it's going to be a really humiliating one. Their fans will literally be on you for a long, long
Of course,
time.
they want anyhow to get sacked. If it's a big humiliating loss, then they want him out. But I think 3 or
Can't
something.
lose to Sunderland, no.
But I think it was a bit too much for me. I'm gonna readjust my prediction. I think it's gonna be 1-1. Then it'll be penalties, but I'm not sure who's gonna win because penalties is there. It's like a coin toss, man. It's 50-50. So yeah, but I think it's gonna be 1-1. I think this game is gonna go extra time. But yeah, next one. I mean, Gillingham versus Sheffield United. Pretty sure everyone's watching this match, eh? I'm gonna go with 2-1 Gillingham. Or Gillingham, whatever. If I pronounced that wrong, but yeah. Manny?
You know, Sheffield United are bad, but they're not that bad. And as far as Gillingham are concerned, they're actually, of course, not too far from my old neck of the woods, which is of course, Dartford and Kent. Birthplace of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. But as I always say, unlike them, I get my satisfaction very easily. 2-1 win for the Blades. I think Chris Wilder will want to, give some of the fringe players a start. So Fotheringham out in goal, Adam Davies to come in, and maybe a few others who will also get a chance to impress. I think that'll be too much for Gillingham. Gillingham will huff and puff, but they're not going to be able to blunt those Blades. AFC always going for a 2-1 reverse. No, I actually think that Wilder has come in and somewhat improved Sheffield United in many ways. Certainly that draw against Aston Villa showed them at their best when they play at their pragmatic best, although some people might argue that Villa were on the receiving end of some awful, awful VAR calls. But once again, Unai Emery, sir, you're a class act. I salute you. 2-1 to the Blades, as I've said.
Yeah. Ollie?
I'll go 2-0 Sheffield United.
2-0 Sheffield United, Mr. B?
Yeah, well, they've got to come up with a result at some stage, haven't they? And it's not the Premiership, so they should. You'd think they'd be able to beat Gillingham. I'll go 2-1 United, Sheffield United.
2-1 Sheffield United. Interesting. Next one, it is QPR versus Bournemouth.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with a Bournemouth win. I think it's going to be a 2-0 Bournemouth win. Manny, over to you.
2-1 to Bournemouth, and this is going to be quite tasty because QPR have two former Cherries in their team, the goalkeeper Asmir Begovic and the long-time defender Steve Cook playing for them, so that's going to be very tasty indeed. I think Bournemouth should come away with this. I'm going for a 2-1 win. It's not going to be pretty because QPR are scrapping in the Championship, but the Cherries should have enough for them, and replace Neto with Radu, who didn't do too badly in the League Cup games. And I think the fringe players are also going to be determined to show what they can do. QPR will be tempted to go full strength, but I just don't think they'll have enough. 2-1 to the Cherries.
The funny stuff about Asmir Begovic, I think it was one of his TikTok videos. I think it was during when he was at Bournemouth. I commented saying legend, and he let my comment. So big up to Begovic, man. But yeah. Ollie, over to you.
2-1 Bournemouth.
2-1 Bournemouth, Mr. B.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth should win this one. I'm going to go 3-1 Bournemouth against quarter pound of rubbish.
Yeah. Next one, Stoke versus Brighton. Can Stoke do it on a cold night, rainy day? Who knows? But listen, I think Brighton, they should win this. I'm going to go with 3-0 Brighton for me. Mr. B?
I'll go 2-0 Brighton.
2-0 Brighton. Ollie?
2-0 Brighton.
2-0 Brighton. Money?
3-1 Brighton.
3-1 Brighton. Next
3-1.
one. Yep. Chelsea versus Preston North End.
Preston North End win this one.
If it was the other way around, it maybe, but yeah. Chelsea, I think they're going to win this. 2-1 Chelsea. Ollie, over to you.
2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. Mr. B?
I'm going to go for Preston to get a goal. I think they can get consolation, but I'm going to go 4-1 Chelsea.
Fair enough, Manny.
3-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea. Next one. Middlesbrough versus Aston Villa. I'm going to go with
At least you won that.
2-1 Villa. No clean sheet. I mean, I don't think Martins will start in this, but yeah, 2-1
Yeah.
Aston Villa. Manny.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a difficult one because, you know, I did remember saying that Villa's bench strength will be what upends their season unless they get their act together and start getting a few players in. And the worrying thing for me is that, you know, Unai Emery can't afford to rotate too heavily. But he will definitely have to give players like Emi Martinez a rest. Also, the likes of Ezri Konsa will have to be given a rest because he's literally played his socks off. John McGinn, I don't know if they can afford to start him. And as far as the strikers are concerned, it will have to be Johnny Duran or someone else to take up that role because, again, Ollie Watkins could look a bit tired. Fatigue is starting to creep in. And a game like this would be a game where they would want to try and rotate, but then they can't afford to rotate because their Villa's cup record under Emery has not really been good. And that is, of course, something they want to address. Last season, they got knocked out at home to Stevenage, of all teams. And this season, of course, they lost to Everton at home in the League Cup. So sadly, unless they can really get their act together, I think Villa might end up going out here. And I do think they will end up going out after drawing to Middlesbrough and losing on penalties. Because if Robin Olsen doesn't play in goal, it will be Philip Marshall. I don't know too much about the fella, and I don't know if he'll be equipped to saving penalties. So Villa are going to have to really get on their game, but Middlesbrough will want to try and show that they're worthy of scrapping to do well in the Championship. So I think, sadly, you know, Villa might end up getting knocked out. But you know what? It could be good for them because they can definitely say bigger fish to fry in terms of the Conference League, potentially winning that, and also throwing their energies into the league or / top 4 challenge. So Middlesbrough to win on penalties after a 1-1 draw.
Fair enough. Ollie.
I'm going to go 2-1 with Aston Villa.
2-1 Aston Villa, Mr. B.
No, I'm going to go for a shot here. I think Middlesbrough can do it. I rate them. You know, I think they're a very good team. They may go up this season as well.
Michael Carrick. No, let's not sleep on Michael Carrick.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go 2-1 Borough.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, obviously, I want to back my United legend, but yeah, unfortunately, Villa might be too strong for you, Carricky. But yeah, man, he's a bigger fish to fry. Yeah. Next one, Luton versus Bolton Wanderers. I'm gonna go with Luton win. 1-0 Luton. 1-0 Luton. Mr. B.
Yeah, Luton should win this one. I mean, Bolton a decent team as well, doing well as well. I think in the Championship, are they Championship Bolton or
No, League One.
League One.
Yeah. They're going well there.
That's
I'm
Fogden's
going to
team.
go 3-1 Luton. This one.
Isn't this Fogden's team, Ollie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Ollie, your score prediction?
2-1 Bolton. Come on, Bolton.
Oh!
Oh, 2-1 to me, but the Hatters have got this. I don't see Bolton doing very much here. I remember back in the day, Bolton were a team to be feared. Those days are gone. Those were the days, my friends. We thought they'd never end.
It
A little Carpenter's tribute there.
Twice, Okocha. Remember it?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yuri Djorkaeff, Fernando Hierro, Gary Speed, God rest his soul. UC Askalainen in goal.
Next one.
Mm.
Manchester City versus Huddersfield Town. I mean, obviously we got one of our Ryan, Huddersfield fan, but yeah, obviously Huddersfield and Darren Moore, they're not look good. You know, they have not looked very good. Obviously they're only at 3 points off relegation zone, so not looking good for them. But I think City will win this. I'm gonna go with 3-0 City win. Mr. B.
I'm going 4-0 City.
4-0 City. Ollie.
3-1 City.
3-1 City. Manny.
Yeah, 3-1 for me. And sadly, Moore is proving to be less than what Huddersfield need at the moment.
Exactly. Next one, West Ham versus Bristol City. I'm going to go with a 3-0 West Ham win. Mr. B.
I think Bristol can get a goal, but I think it'd be 3-1 West Ham.
3 on West Ham. Ollie.
2 on West Ham.
2 on West Ham. Money.
2-0 West Ham.
Fair enough. Nottingham Forest versus Blackpool. 2-1 Forest for me. Mr. B.
Well, Blackpool, another decent team, but I think Forest should have too much room, you would think. So I'm going to say 2-0 Forest.
2-1 Forest. Ollie.
2 on Forest.
2-1. Money.
2-0 Forest.
Fair enough. Now the big one. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Obviously, they don't have Mo Salah. But yeah, Money. Over to you first. Who's winning this? I think Arsenal wearing the white kit. Yeah.
I am not confident for this game, I have to say, because Arteta cannot afford to rotate his team, and if he does, we're gonna be in for no. And if he does, given the form we're in, we're going to be in for a bit of a hiding. And I think Liverpool have obviously shown that if they can just sort out their defensive issues, they're going to be fine. They do have problems though, because they've got Joe Gomez playing at left back, who he's better suited at right back, but obviously he's not going to be in that position because of TAA. And they do have some good youngsters like Kwanzaa and a few others. Queeman Kelleher, the Irishman, will be in goal. Shout out to Del Boy Gunner. He rates him very highly indeed. And there will be maybe this could be very well be the game where Alexis McAllister comes back into the starting lineup. Another return of the Mac, if you will. And with Salah gone, Liverpool have their 3 forwards, but I think they will want to play 2 of them and give another one a chance to sort of come in to the limelight. Arsenal, we can't afford to rotate, but we might have to rotate. You see the cycle we're in. Several of our players are not in the best of form. Yeah. And, AFC always, big up to him. He's taken the words right out of my mouth. He's gone for a 3-1 Arsenal win at the Emirates, and that's exactly what I'm going for too. We may score a goal, but that's pretty much it. And he's also put another comment in which I will highlight. Did you know that, hold on, we've outspent Real Madrid since 2008? And look at the trophies they've won compared to us. And there's a reason why Real Madrid binned Martin Odegaard and took Dani Ceballos back from us. Go figure.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to go with a 3-1 Liverpool win. Ollie?
I don't know why, but I'm pretty confident about the game. I think we can win the game. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 Arsenal win.
2-1. Listen, obviously, they don't have more Salah.
Yeah.
They'll probably they'll put Gakpo on the right or something like that. But Mr. B, your score prediction for this one?
I'm going 2-1 the Scousers here, Liverpool.
Interesting. I'm going to go... 2-1 Arsenal. I think Arsenal win this. But
and one more thing, finally, before we go to the final game, all those of you who see it fit to sing Feed the Scousers, let them know it's Christmas time. Knock it off! I despise this sort of stuff. Seriously.
Yeah, no, listen. Exactly, yeah. As you know, for myself, yeah. That is a bit too far, but listen, Liverpool fan, I think I understand why United fans, why they back themselves sing that, because Liverpool fans, obviously, when they take the mick out of us for the Munich air disaster, but at the end of the day, it's not right to be singing that. But yeah, but yeah, Arsenal. Listen, Arteta cannot throw this out the window, because you're the same manager that won this in your first season. Well, with Unai Emery's team, obviously, but first manager to win this. So listen, you can't throw this out the window, mate. But yeah, should be interesting to see what happens that one.
Yeah, because we don't quite have bigger fish to fry. We're not progressing in the Champions League, and many of us have predicted that our title challenge is over.
Exactly. Last game, Wigan Athletic versus United. I mean, obviously Wigan are in League One. I think they're struggling right now. I think United will be too strong for them. I'm
You
going to
are.
go. Well, I hope, anyways. But it's the FA Cup, man. It's the FA Cup, man. If McTominay starts, we're losing. How about that? How about that? If McTominay starts, we're losing. But yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0 United win, but hopefully Ahmad starts. I'm expecting a good lineup. Hopefully, I don't want to see that scrub McTominay, but yeah, should be good win for United. Hopefully, but yeah, this is away. United players, they don't like playing away, because the atmosphere they don't like playing in tough atmospheres. But yeah, Mr. B, your prediction for this one?
Well, I like what AFC there's got. 2-1 Wigan. And they did actually beat a certain Manchester team once, if we all remember that, in the FA Cup
Yeah.
final.
Manchester City.
Yeah. So, but no, I think United should still have too much here. I really do. I'm going to go 2-0 United.
2-0 United. Ollie?
2-1 United should win.
2-1. And Manny?
Yeah, aren't Wigan United in League One now anyway?
Yeah.
United should have too much for them. And yes, I do remember that 2011 FA Cup final, if memory serves me right. That has been Roberto Martinez's meal ticket, because he went on to manage Belgium, and now he's managing Portugal. I swear. Of course, those days of Wigan doing overachieving the way they did are long gone, and I think United should still have enough for them. I'm going for 3-1 to the Red Devils.
Yeah, and also I think if we do win, I think Bayern has a very good chance, because Onana goes to AFCON straight after the Spurs game, and obviously the next one of the FA Cup will be at the end of January. So Bayern, the mate, you still got a chance if we was to win. But yeah, Chris Orisi's West Anthony. Well, for me, this Anthony's the worst. Like I said, if you watch back, Anthony's the worst winger I've ever seen. But yeah, for me, it's not even solely on Anthony. It's just our attack in general, like central stuff. He's going to Dortmund on loan, by the way, so that's been agreed. He'll be going to Dortmund on loan. Don't know if there's an obligation to buy it, but listen, Sancho, yeah, it's just best probably for him to leave. But yeah, that has been all obviously the Premier games for FA Cup, and yeah, we've pretty much done it. The title done season over. We ain't winning the FA Cup or the Champions League says AFC always. Yeah, exactly. Right, let's get people to shout the socials as always. Let's get Ollie first. Ollie, big up to you. Where can people find you?
Yeah, big up for having me on, of course. You can find me, DJ Sinclair, on YouTube. Content will be coming this year, hopefully. I don't know when, but it will be coming. If you want to catch me on Instagram, Ollie.Sinclair556 and WF fan page 1. Yeah, big up for having me on.
And big up to you, Manny. Big up to you. Where can people find you?
Yeah, first of all, big up to you, Orist, for organising this stream. And I must say that it was a brave decision to put the stream up for obvious reasons. And I'm glad that we were able to do it and get some people in the chat and have some panelists on tonight. And it was a good stream. We talked about whatever we wanted to do and went on for a bit too long. But, I'm happy any other way. A good way to start the new year with OTF, and hopefully the first of many more streams. Hopefully not quite as long, so my apologies to everyone. And you can catch me over here on OTF. You can catch me on Del Boy Gunner TV, Coach's Corner with Hanno Trollip, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, Up the Cherries in All Departments, Eugen Spurs Asia TV, AFC Talk Show TV, Northside LDN, and also Mr. B's channel, Mr. B5 Football Chat, which he will big up. And, of course, big up to DJ Sinclairo and his channel, of course. Hopefully he'll start producing more streams again very soon. And, always enjoy coming on streams to talk football. Also, big shout-out to Football United with Mansley Herbert and the Old School Gunner. I was never going to forget them. And, as I say, always say, and I want to make it crystal clear that this is a banter-free zone. We need to make sure that we start respecting each other's clubs and avoid all this banter, which is why I had to rail against this feed the Scousers nonsense. At the end of the day, I realize that we do have some tribal, tribality in terms of the rivalness or whatever. But now that we're moving on, that we need to sort of move away from all of that. If we cannot agree to disagree on anything without being disagreeable, there's no point in having a discussion. Let's keep things respectful and treat each other the way we would like to be treated. And social media, Threads, Instagram, Manny Thungadorai 1981, Twitter, Thungadorai 1981. Hope to see you all again in another stream very soon on this channel. And once again, Happy New Year to all of you. Big up to everyone in the chat. And enjoy the rest of this week and the weekend. Have a great 2024. Don't do anything that the panelists or I wouldn't do. But as always, farewell to thee and goodbye and God bless to each and every one of you. Cheers.
Big up to you, Manny. Big up. And obviously, Mr. B, last but not least, they can find you.
Yeah, Mr. B for life, 182, Mr. B, Hive Football Chat. Obviously, yeah, things going pretty well. I'd obviously done a stream the other day on New Year's Day. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? It's just gone so quick. But anyway, had Manny on there. Of course, he was on, and Stephen and Joe. But yeah, it was really great. A really great stream, and obviously I've got a preview stream coming up tomorrow for the Wolves game on Friday, the FA Cup match, and obviously doing a transfer thing with that as well to talk about maybe with Tony again, yeah, as well as a few others. So. So we're going to have a little chat about that. And obviously everything's going well. I'm on 83 subs, so obviously looking forward to trying to get to the 100. And thanks to the other fellas on the RS, Manny and Ollie. And thanks to everyone that supported me. And hopefully you keep supporting me for the rest of this year. And that's great. And Happy New Year to everyone. And come on, you bees.
Yeah, big up to you, Mr. B. But yeah, guys, you can find us on Instagram, Rs Football, Twitter, Rs Talks Footy. And yeah, it has been a good stream. Hopefully not too a bit long for you guys, but yeah, we had to keep it short and swimming for the FA Cup ones. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Obviously, Happy New Year to you guys. That was the first stream of the new year. We'll be back probably next week for the Premier League game week, and then obviously there's a short break in between. So yeah, make sure you guys keep smashing those likes, subscribe if you're new. But yeah, our target obviously 500 subscribers by the first obviously quarter of the year. So we shall see what happens to that. If we can hit it, that'll be great. I think we can anyways. I think we're like 20 away or so. But guys, subscribe to DJ Sinclair on YouTube if you haven't already. Mr. B channel as well. And yeah, we'll be back short soon. And yeah, make sure you guys stay safe and enjoy the football. And hopefully Arsenal lose. But yeah, no, I'm joking. But yeah, see you guys soon. Peace.